Hello, I am Umbrenero, and welcome back to Umbrenero's Life. Today's video is painting with a blue light. So, this is part 2 of this 6-part series, and this time we are painting with a blue light. And we're right next to the section that we did last time. And like the previous time, I have already sketched in my typings that I am doing for this section to kind of give me an idea of what I want to do. And one thing I did not mention in part 1 is I chose what types were going in what section completely at random. I grabbed dice, assigned each type a number, and rolled a 6-sided dice and a 20-sided dice just to determine where the corresponding areas would be. But first things first is I needed to get my colors together for that section. And since I was doing ghost, psychic, and poison types, I wanted purpley colors and, well, really just purpley colors. So I started guessing and grabbing what I thought could be purple. And I did use a palette this time. I actually used a plastic plate that we found on clearance for 5 cents. I don't mind if my colors touch and all of that because, hey, it's still going to get used for something. It's just these plates are not for food. So, the colors I was choosing, I honestly could not tell if they were blues, purples, or pink and red, because under the blue light, this got a little difficult. And I decided I was selecting the colors after I had the lights turned on and not go and squirt a little bit of every color out. I just wanted to use the colors that I thought would be usable here. So it's like I grabbed a dark color and I'm like, alright, this is either a very dark purple or it's black. I grabbed the color I thought I was really sure was white at some point, and there was a color I grabbed and I'm like, I don't know if this is brown or green or something like this, but it looked purple when I grabbed it, so it is what it is. So, like last time, I decided to do a quick little coloring of a base color just to make it so there's at least something down to mix these colors around with. Wanted to try to make sure I got the edges better this time and all of that fun stuff. But in between the recording of the first part of this series and this one, I did seal that first section. And I'm actually going to do that between each part, so that way any bleed of the paint into the next area will not be a factor, and that it's something that will be able to be cleaned up and not cause any issues, hopefully, which we will end up finding out by the end. But it was time to get into that first typing, and it was the poison type. I was completely guessing at what colors I was grabbing. It's like, it looks really purple here, and I'm honestly not sure why it looks that purple, because there was no light behind me. And I was just trying to get this to be light enough and still feel right, but also have its element of chaos. So for the poison typing, it's like, alright, it's just a general purple. All of these are really just general purple colors. So I grabbed the one I was the least sure of. And I'm like, I think this is purple. Otherwise, it's just a really dark color that maybe I can layer a purple-esque color on top of. And that's kind of why the poison typing ends up looking how it does. Did the top of it, and then it was time to do like the little teeth of it. So you'd think, oh, you're done there because you have it all done. And it's like, well, it doesn't feel purple enough. So I went and grabbed something that felt more purple, and I started putting that on there to kind of give this one a 3D-ish effect, kind of like I did with the fairy type in the first one. So that was the poison area done. It's like, alright, let's move on to psychic and ghost. And I was really nervous though after doing the poison one. It's like, did I just screw this up? I felt like something was wrong and didn't feel right. So I'm like, alright, we're gonna do the little ghost next. And I realized I did grab black paints at some point. So I'm like, oh, this is too dark. That does not feel like purple. So I grabbed my darker purple and it blended it with the black. I made it work. We let the chaos have some fun. So then it was a lot more of just adding chaos. And with the ghost typing being in this general area, it's like, alright, I want this corner to be darker, but I don't want it to feel too thin. I wanted it to be... I just wanted it to feel unique. And then it's like, alright, time to do what I've been doing for everything else so far as lighten up the area around where the symbol is. So I tried that. I didn't go too light because I did want it to feel dark. And it's like, this isn't light enough. So the ghost is going to be popping out of the darkness. So I did know where my black paint was at this point. I knew what to avoid. And I grabbed a different color than what I used for the poison to start coloring in my little ghost symbol for the ghost type. Like, I wanted it to be solid, except for the spots that needed to be open, like the eyes. But that little ghosty started popping out really well here. And it's like, alright, I feel better about this. Now, once I'm done with this one, we only have one left. And that's the psychic type, which is more of a purpley pink-ish color. Is how I would describe the color that I put towards psychic type. And it's like, alright, I did something on the poison, no clue what, at this time. It's like, I want this to be kind of pinkish purple and fit the typing. So there was some color mixing happening. I avoided the one color that I used on the poison the best I could because I did not feel like it was actually a color that should have gone with these types. I really didn't feel like it. Because all of my paint bottles were labeled. Well, not labeled. They were covered, so I could not read any of the labels. And to make it in a way so that way I could kind of judge like if something was a light color or dark color, I did paint the lids on every single color with that color. So that way, under these different lighting conditions, you know this is something dark, this is something light. What color is it? Find out when you use it. But before I went to do the psychic area, I tried to soften the dark edge. I don't know if it actually happened, but I did what I did. This is not an easy thing, and it is fun though. But I did get to the psychic type. It just, the chaos wanted to add more darkness. I don't know why. So here I acknowledged, yep, I gotta do this next. How am I gonna do this? Well, first things first, lighter color come in. And this is where I was hoping this was a pinkier purple or a pink potentially. Like I said, I had no clue what I had actually grabbed. And I'm like, alright, we're gonna do some of that border stuff before I even start painting the symbol for psychic. Because it did kind of help blend into the other area and all of that. But it's like, I was a little intimidated by this one. Because this area had some difficult symbols to include. And then it was painting the eye for the psychic type, which did come out alright, I guess. I do think, though, that the color that was lurking in the poison symbol may have joined for that one. I'm not sure exactly, but it is highly possible because I can't tell what color was what, and I was at the point where I was trying to mix some colors a little bit. And it's like, oh, I want this a little darker. Well, that couldn't have been so bad. So, it turned into what it turned into. I will say that. So again, I let the chaos have some more fun, and then it got almost time to reveal how the second section happened. Well, not second. Well, yeah, it is the second section. But, yeah. So, this one I didn't reveal quite the same way as I did part 1 with the red light. Here, I actually turned off my camera because I got asked the question, and this was the result. So it turns out the color I used for poison was green, which kind of works, but it got mixed in with the color I used for psychic. So it is what it is, and you know what? It's still not that bad, and the bleed over for the paint wasn't too bad, easily clean upable. So thank you for watching, and until next time, I am Umbrenero. Bye!